Welcome back to JB Reviews. In this video, I wanted to discuss something that a lot of you guys have been talking about, and it's pricing. Every video I do, whether it's on a basic truck or a top of the line truck like that, people are just complaining about pricing. And I understand, because the truth is everything has gone up in price. And what sucks is, even when you have a base model truck, and believe it or not, this trimmer is considered base model because this is basically a 401A equipment group. So this truck is just under $70,000. It doesn't have the full leather seats, doesn't have the twin panel moonroof, doesn't have cooled seats obviously, and it's missing a lot of features that you can get on a 402A equipment group truck. So the question is, what are the manufacturers going to do to combat these high prices? Obviously inflation has literally just risen and risen. I mean, this is not even a high trim level truck. This is just a Lariat for just under $100,000. No matter what you did 5 years ago, there's no way you could get a Ford F-350 trimmer Lariat that high in price. So you might be able to get it to high 80s, but $90,000 would have been tough. And here's a Ford Platinum long bed F-350 with the high output, missing some equipment, mind you, no spray and bed liner, and this truck cost $100,040. And you see right here, it has just about every option, just about, like the twin panel. And they did take away a few options that were standard last year, like the 2,000 watts of power. So not only are the manufacturers charging a lot more for these trucks, they're also taking away equipment that was once standard. I'm going to read an article to you guys here, and it's going to explain what Ford is going to do to combat these high prices. Now, if you're someone who is driving, listening to this video, pull over. If you're someone who gets angry really easily, you probably don't want to watch this video, because what they're doing, let's just read it. The headline says, and this is Car and Driver, automakers aim for more affordable cars as sub 30K sales surge. The average price of new cars has risen dramatically in recent years to hover in the mid $40,000 range. So of course, with inflation, with the pandemic, things just skyrocketed because people just wanted to spend money, right? It says here, yet customers have shown increased interest in affordable cars, with many low-priced vehicles experiencing a sales surge in 2024. Automakers are taking notice, and several companies expressed plans at the recent NADA show in New Orleans to cater to customers' demand by launching less expensive models in the near future. So I'm going to skip down here real quickly. It says here, at the event, a trade show organized by the National Automobile Dealers Association, which is NADA, Ford, Mini, Mitsubishi, and Ram all reportedly informed dealers that they plan to offer more affordable vehicles. Now, let's stop right there for a second. That's great news. That's what we want. Everyone has been complaining about pricing. I get that on just about every single video. No matter what truck I post, no matter what I'm showing, it could be a Ford Maverick, and people are like, wow, that's way too much money. And to their point, it is a lot of money. So yes, they're looking to build more affordable cars. Now, to me, that would seem like they're going to drop the prices of everything, right? They're going to drop everything by 30%, 40%. And if you want a Platinum, that's going to be 30% cheaper than it was last year. Nope, that's just not the case. Let's keep reading. Ford Brass said it would boost production of the F-150's STX trim, the second least expensive variant, as well as lower trims for the Escape and Explorer. Ford also brought back the base model for the Bronco off-road SUV for 2025 and is launching refreshed versions of the Maverick and Bronco. All right, so the truck I'm sitting in right now, this is an STX. Now this truck right here is basically a slot above an XL work truck. Now obviously this has a really nice appearance, and one thing I like about this truck is it has a lot of nice features. So on the front end, LED headlights, painted bumpers. It also has 20-inch wheels, rear parking sensors, and let's see if it has an assisted tailgate. So tailgate is not assisted, but you still have 400 watts of power. But you guys see right here, when you open the door, you have a basic work truck. And this is their way of combating pricing. Ford Authority also mentioned they plan on increasing production for XLT trim levels too. So this truck has cloth seats, does have a center console, and this does have the power boost, although they do deduct that off of here by $1,900. This truck is $64,215. Now, again, you guys look at it, this is a nice truck. Like, who would complain about this? Most people today want painted bumpers, they want the blackout, and Ford gives that to you. This also has smart key system, front and rear parking sensors, so it is pretty loaded. The only problem is it's still almost $70,000. If you were to look at taxes and tags, and obviously no one's paying MSRP anymore, but if you look at taxes and tags, it's going to add on some extra cost to the truck. So instead of Ford and really all the manufacturers saying, okay, what can we do to lower the cost? Obviously they've been doing some things to lower costs for themselves. As I said earlier, they have been removing some of the equipment on these trucks, but they're not really lowering the price. And they did actually lower the price on Lariat trimmed trucks. Like, for example, if you are looking at, that's actually an XLT. Hold on one second. Here we go. This looks to be a Lariat. So this Lariat, this is a 501A equipment group for $2,670. You now have an entry-level Lariat for, I think it's like a 500A equipment, and so it is missing some of the equipment that it had for last year. And they went to something called ActiveX. They removed a few other features, but if you want certain things on the truck, you're gonna have to upgrade it to this 501A equipment group, which does increase the price as well. So that is the way the manufacturers are trying to help the consumer, which is basically push out lower trim levels and higher production so guys and girls can actually afford these things. Also, Ford Maverick has become more popular too, because if you don't really need a big truck to do big truck things, but you really want a truck, you now have the option to get the Maverick here. And for 2025, they now have all-wheel drive standard for the hybrid. So look at this right here. 40 mpg in the city, 34 on the highway. This is a top trim all-wheel drive hybrid Maverick for under $40,000. This truck has smart key system, has really nice 19-inch wheels, has leather seating with heat, 13.2-inch display, and shockingly, this truck is pretty quick. I just did a video comparing it with a 2-liter that I'll post at some point. But yes, this is their way of dealing with pricing. It's not to lower the price, but it's really to make more of the cheaper models so people can actually afford these vehicles. So right now, one thing I'll tell you is this. You guys know I typically buy top trim levels. So when you're looking at Ford F-150 Platinums, they now have black appearance standard, so you don't have to add an additional $2,000 to the truck. Only problem is these trucks cost nearly $80,000. So again, my message to the manufacturers is this. I understand that you guys are giving us the opportunity to buy these really, really nice vehicles. Let's not mistake this here. There is never a time in history where even base model cars have just as many features as higher trims. Like, look at what you can get on an XLT trim. Like, there was never a time that you can get blackout, painted bumpers, LED headlights. Those things were just never ever available for those lower trim levels. And now today, you basically can get those trucks pretty nice on the exterior, but you're gonna have cloth seats, manual seats, like on the SCX as I just showed you. And so I did a video saying the middle class is starting to disappear. And the way you see that is by the way they're building these trucks. What you see is, you see these lower trim level trucks looking like really nice pickup trucks, but in fact, they're just base model with kind of like what that saying goes, lipstick on a pig, basically. So don't get me wrong, like, there's nothing wrong with that, but some people just like that appearance of a nice pickup truck. But if they want to save some money, they have to go without that nice interior. So you're not going to have leather, heated and ventilated seats. Well, you might have heated seats, but you're not going to have ventilated seats. You're not going to have the 360 camera, typically. Like on the SCX, you're not going to have those type of features. So I don't know. I think that the manufacturers need to find a way to lower the overall cost of their vehicles. They just have to, because for some people, they're just never going to buy a compact truck to drive around in. And yes, these trucks are super expensive. I mean, here is an XL F250 gas engine truck, and it costs just under 60 grand. I mean, a truck like this, 5-6 years ago, you probably could get it discounted probably under 40 grand, or if not very close to it. And in today's market, I mean, you're starting at close to $60,000. So hope this video was helpful. As you saw, Ford is looking to increase production on STX and XLT trims to offset the price issue that they have. Because if you're looking at a Lariat, you know, pretty decked out, you're probably in the mid 70s. If you're looking at a Platinum, you saw, you're probably on the low end, you're at 80 grand, and once you start adding more packages, you're probably closer to 90 grand. And it's not just Ford. Ram, I mean, the Tungsten can get close to $100,000 for a half ton. GM's Denali Ultimate is easily over 90, and if you get an AT4X with an AV package, you're over $90,000. So I think that, yes, we could try to join arms and stop buying trucks, but that's not going to fix the problem. That's just going to get people laid off. That's all. You know, and people at the top are always going to make money. So the way we combat that is starting more automotive companies. So who's with me? Who wants to start an automotive company to compete with these guys to get their prices down? That's the only way we can do it. So if you're the kind of person that likes to talk about pricing and, oh, these trucks are so expensive, we should stop buying them, let them rot. Well, yeah, we could do that, but it's only going to affect everyone, because it's a chain reaction. Well, look what happened in 2008 when people stopped buying trucks and, you know, big SUVs. People got laid off, suppliers got laid off, banks stopped, you know, loaning money, because then people stopped paying their cars because they lost their jobs. This is a chain reaction. So the only way to combat this is to give them more competition, and I think this is the perfect time to do that.